Hey guys, my name is Chad Francis. Recently retired from the military. Spent 25 years in the U.S. Army. I'm an NRA instructor. I also teach Missouri concealed carry, and I was a firearms instructor for my last 10 years in the Army. This is my daughter, Caitlin Francis. She's a junior 3-gun competitor. We shoot 3-gun matches all over the United States. She's got quite a Facebook following, I think 144,000 fans or something like that. And she's going to be helping me out today. Whether you use firearms for self-defense, for recreation, or for sporting use, it's a fun thing. It can be a family event, it can be an individual event, but first and foremost, you want to be safe. Above all else, you always want to be safe with handguns. They are very fun, but they can also be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. In America recently, there's been a huge influx of gun buying, if you will. What was it, Black Friday? They said there was more ATF background checks than there have been in several years. So it's definitely an up-and-coming thing, and a lot of those are new gun owners who have never handled a gun, and they definitely need to learn the safe way to do it. So we're going to go over some basic safety rules that the NRA puts out, that any gun range you go to, they'll have them posted. They're very basic and they're very simple to remember, and they will definitely keep you safe. The first thing we're going to talk about is treat every gun as though it was loaded. That is one of the first golden rules. All these guns here, even though contrary to what you might hear on some of the other television shows, they will not jump up and shoot you without being handled. Okay, but if you treat them as if they're loaded and that they can take a life, then they will definitely be safe. The second thing we're going to talk about is always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Okay, notice Caitlin here has her finger on the side of the slide. Now Katie, move your finger down right inside the trigger well. Okay, right there, her finger is off the trigger, which meets the basic requirements of the safety rule. But if she were to trip and fall with her gun in that condition, your body does what's called a sympathetic reaction, and it squeezes everything, your feet and your hands and everything kind of clench up, and it will cause a discharge of that firearm if it's loaded. So keep it on something solid until you're ready to fire. It literally takes not even a tenth of a second to get your finger on the trigger if you actually need to fire the handgun. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about is you always want to keep the gun pointed in the safest direction. You'll also hear that being said as don't point it at anything you don't want to destroy. When Caitlin handles this gun, just notice whenever that gun's pointing, it's not at another person. It's always going to be at a target or downrange. Now, go ahead and turn around and face the camera. There you go. If you keep it, if you're not at a range and you're demonstrating with guns or handling guns, you always want to keep it in a safe direction. Notice she's got it pointing at the ground. A lot of people will say, well, yeah, you could discharge that gun and kick some gravel or concrete up in your face. Believe me, that bullet will not ricochet up there into your face. It's better than keeping it pointed up in the air. A lot of people think the up in the air, show them the full Sabrina, the old Charlie's Angels full Sabrina. Okay, a lot of people think that's the safest way to handle a gun, but as long as it's pointed in a safe direction, if you have it pointed up in the air, bullets will travel a long way, and believe me, contrary to what you might hear, falling bullets can kill you. Okay. The fourth and final of the 4 golden rules is make sure you know your target and what is behind it. We're here at a range, and notice you've got a good high backstop. That being said, you cannot elevate your gun over the top of that backstop because we don't know what's back behind there. Could be houses, could be livestock, whatever. I know a lot of friends that say, well, I've got 10 acres, I can go shoot wherever I want. You just have to know those bullets travel a long ways, and you always want to know what's behind it. And it's also the same principle if you're possibly having to shoot at someone in a self-defense situation. Bullets can go through people, and if there's innocent bystanders behind them, they can be hit as well. Again, guns are fun. They are very safe inherently. It's usually when people make mistakes. If you accidentally discharge a handgun or rifle or shotgun without meaning to, you definitely broke one of the 3 rules. And if you shoot yourself or somebody else that you didn't mean to, you definitely broke all 3. Anything to add, Kate? Nope.